Hmm. సహిత మహాహవ మల్లమ తల్లిక మల్లితరల్లక మల్లరతే విరచిత వల్లిక పల్లిక మల్లిక ఝిల్లిక భిల్లిక వర్గవృతే శితకృత పుల్ల సముల్లిసితారుణ తల్లజ పల్లవ సల్లలితే జయ జయ హే మహిషాసురమర్దిని రమ్యకపర్దిని శైలసుతే. Very nice. See, this verse is all very similar sounding words are repeated back and forth, right? And almost sounding very. It seems like you replace one word with the other, and you can still keep going. Mallama tallika tallaka rallika pallaja vallaka abdina enamo nodi. We can say and we can get through this, but that is the beauty of this whole work, right? Mahishasura Mardini work. He has created it like um, uh,
Dance
people.
tunnel, Guruji.
Sorry,
Dance tunnel, near dance tunnel.
correct. So
Mother
it's
is enjoying and then doing it.
exactly. So she's enjoying, and there is a certain rhythm to what she's doing. And there is also, see, if you look at the war, when you look at, imagine a battlefield, right? And you see these battles in whatever we've seen these serials episodes on Mahabharata, Ramayana, and all of these we watch, right? Now there are all the other battles that we see, the Battle of Panipat, and this, that, and the other movies and all we watch. You almost see when you see from, of course, we see the cameraman's view, the director's view, right? We actually don't, we have not yet witnessed a war really. But even then, when you see this different vyuhas that are formed in a war, Garuda vyuha, Chakra vyuha, and so many this different kinds of vyuhas are formed, and how the enemies attack and the army moves through, one army moves through the other army trying to clear and get to the king so that the king can be defeated, because the moment the king is defeated the war is ending. You don't have to kill every person in the on the other fleet or the other party to win the war, which is why every attempt is made to quickly get to the king or the emperor or the one who's presiding the war, to quickly get to him so that the war can be ended soon. And that is the whole idea, because even a king who's waging a war, the king or the kingdom who's waging a war, he doesn't want to lose so many soldiers. He wants to win the war in the most efficient way, right? The most efficient and the least number of resources, with the least number of resources, the most efficient way, optimal throughput. He is looking for optimal throughput, and how quickly can I get to the king, opposite king, and then either kill him or get him to surrender or whatever, so that I can declare the war as won. But if you look at visualize the whole war field, you will see a lot of, it's chaotic. So you don't know who's hitting who, who's killing who, a lot of, and I keep wondering, what if you just keep hitting your own soldier, right? There is a high likelihood that I suddenly take a knife and then somebody coming behind me, I chop that guy off and I realize, Ajicho, sorry. Oh, yen team happens to be my team. So it can happen, right? It seems completely a little chaotic if you're standing inside the war formation. Only the commander in chief or some of these folks who are the strategists of the war will have a view about how the teams and the groups are moving, right? But otherwise, people who are inside, it's very difficult for them. It's similar to this verse. Mallaka, Rallika, Rallaka, Chillika, Pallava, Abdin Chuli. So it's like, it's all confusing. You don't know really. All you know is probably they would be told that all the soldiers, the opposite enemies, are wearing this color cloth. Their armor is of this color. Anybody you see of this armor, you go and hit the guy. I wonder that's how it would be, right? And if I happen to, pick up somebody, the opposite guy's armor, and I put it, I can quickly become this guy's team. How do you know? And if you're talking about Mahabharata, there are 18 Akshavani Senas, right? 18, which means we were talking the other day. It's almost about 4 million people on a battlefield. 4 million people, right? And then that separately, you have animals like horses and elephants and all of that. So you have 4 million people on a large battlefield, and you don't know who's hooting. Yeah, when there's a crowd going in some direction, like my brother this morning, he landed in Sharjah. So he said, I came to the Sharjah immigration, and the whole place was packed with people. So then when he asked somebody, where is the immigration? He said, it is here only, but he is not able to see the immigration. So many people. He couldn't see the line. He couldn't see the immigration. He's like, okay, let me just trust people are standing here for that. And then he said after 30 minutes or so, when he came closer, then he saw, oh, there is a line. Oh, there are the immigration counters I can see. So it'll be like that, right? So imagine just in crowded places also, you don't know what's up there, what's out there, what's happening. Imagine in a battlefield. So I realized that Adi Shankara is constantly also giving us that imagery of the battlefield, where he's trying to show how this whole this whole Mahishasura Mardini is essentially the whole exploration of Devi or the Lalita Tripura Sundari or Rajarajeshwari in the battlefield, fighting and destroying all the enemies in some form or the other, and she's doing it joyfully, right? She's doing it rate rate. See, rate, most of the words you will see it ends with, or in most of the verses you will see there is a word rate. Rate means it comes from Rati, who is Manmatha's wife, and she is, Manmatha is known to be the playful one, the the one who instigates love in you or joy. So she is the wife of Manmatha. And so the whole act for her is of, it is almost like when they say, right, two lovers come together and they hug each other, kiss each other. It seems like a fight, but it's a love fight, right? So it's almost like that for Devi. She's enjoying this whole engagement and entangled situation, this whole chaos that has been created, but she's enjoying it. She's doing it with a lot of joy. And this particular verse, as it goes, is Sahita Mahahava. So Mahahava means a great war. So he's saying there is this great war that is going on. And in that great war, oh mother, you are fighting, you are wrestling. Mallama Tallika, Malli Tarallaka. And so here, so the word Malla is also used as Malla Yuddha. So Malla Yuddha means the um, the warfare using wrestling. Malla Yuddha means the warfare that is using wrestling, Malla Yuddha. And Malli means jasmine. So he's used the word Malla and Malli. Okay. So Malla is wrestling. Malli is jasmine. And Taralla is to Taralla is essentially when something is oscillating, you refer to this Taralla. Taranga, Tarala, something that is oscillating, moving back and forth. So he's using these words to give the experience of that which is happening there. So what is happening is Devi in this Mahahava, in this great war, she is wrestling. She's an excellent wrestler. Mallama, Mallama Tallika. So she is a great wrestler, and she is wrestling as though she is wrestling with a jasmine flower. Okay. She's wrestling with a jasmine flower and in a very gentle way. So, now how would you wrestle with a jasmine flower? There is a saying in Tamil, Korangu kaila poo mala அப்படினு சொல்லுவா. If you give a garland of flowers to a monkey, it's very unlikely that you will get the garland in its proper shape and form back, right? The pitchy penati, it will completely pull it apart. Probably the string will be there, and then there'll be some flowers hung here and there. So this is what you would do. A monkey would do that. But here she's saying that she is wrestling with even with the opponents as though she is wrestling with a jasmine flower. And you've seen a jasmine flower, right? Mallipu. It's supposed to be very, very tender, gentle, and it gives out beautiful fragrance. And if you have to crush a jasmine flower, you will feel not good, right? You won't feel nice to crush a jasmine flower, right? Or on the road, you feel very rude and ruthless if you have to do that. Because jasmine flower has this, it feels very tender, gentle, and the fragrance is also so beautiful, so good. In that way, there is a significance to jasmine flower. The significance of the fragrance is for someone who's meditating, it helps, that fragrance helps your mind to go inwards, which is also Mallikarjuna. Mallikarjuna Swami, the linga was found under a malli tree. And so the significance is that fragrance is Devi. And the Mallikarjuna representation is also of this taralla, which is this joyful exchange between Shiva and Parvati. Right? So the words that I said from Shivananda Lahari, Seve Shri Giri Mallikarjuna Mahalinga Shiva Alingitam. Shiva Alingitam. Alingitam means what? Alingitam means to embrace. So the Shiva is embracing Parvati or Devi. So this embrace of love that is there is represented, and that love is represented through the fragrance of the jasmine flower. And in that embrace, you will never see, even how much ever you love somebody, will you embrace them or squeeze them till it pains? You'll not. You'll embrace them, even your child, you'll embrace the child enough so that you feel the joy and the warmth of the embrace. But at the same time, you'll be careful that you don't hurt the other. Right? Those who know the story of Dhritarashtra, when the war ended, all the Pandavas wanted to visit. They had to come back to the kingdom Hastinapura, because now Yudhishthira is to take the throne. So they come and they want to take the blessings of the Pandavas, have to take the blessings of Dhritarashtra, Gandhari, Kunti, and all of them. But Dhritarashtra is burning with so much of anguish because all his sons have been killed. Right? He never justified, or he always felt his love for his children were justified, even though the children were adharmic. So that justification always led him to believe that his love, such intense love, he felt justified with that. So when his sons, particularly when Duryodhana was killed, and because Bhima had taken the sankalpa to kill all the 100 sons and he killed all of them, he felt deep anguish and hate, a certain form of hatred for Bhima. So he had, in his mind, he had thought that in the Pandavas, he knows now the Pandavas have won. He said that I will be able to excuse and forgive all the other children, but Bhima. Because Bhima went and sought out each of my children in the battlefield, the 100 of them, and killed each one of them. Because he had made a sankalpa at the Dyut Sabha. And here what happens is when they all visit, now Dhritarashtra is wanting to give an embrace. He says, Bhima, where are you? I want to give you an embrace. And in his mind, because Dhritarashtra is known to have the strength of 100 elephants. He is known to Shata Gaja. So he's got the strength of a Shakti of 100 elephants. Arms, andalavuku his Bahubali. So he calls him, but then Krishna realizes the anguish and intensity that Dhritarashtra carries. So immediately he moves a big statue in front, because Dhritarashtra can't see. He moves, before Bhima comes, he moves that statue in front of Dhritarashtra, and Dhritarashtra embraces and crushes the statue. Imagine, it's an iron statue. And Dhritarashtra embraces and shouts out his son's name and whatever, and then he crushes the statue, and he thinks that he is actually crushed and killed Bhima. And then Bhima comes and says, Periyappa, no, you didn't kill me, I am alive only. And then Dhritarashtra realizes his mistake, and he said, out of my love for my son, I had this thing that was burning inside me, it had to come out. So then he seeks forgiveness from Bhima and so on and so forth. So this episode just occurred to me that embrace can be this way. Your embrace can be deadly. Your embrace can be really very painful. It can be very, can be hurtful. The other embrace, which Nochur Swami, those who heard the talk would have heard, where he talks about how the Pashupatastra was given to Arjuna. That was also given through an embrace. Shiva Lingitam. Shiva did an embrace to Arjuna. During the Kirata Arjuna fight, they were rolling and hitting each other, and they were embracing. In many ways, they were embracing and fighting, right? And the way Nochur Swami explains is that during the embrace and during the twisting and turning and the wrestling they were doing, in an intravenous way, Shiva injects Pashupatastra, the mantra or the effect of Pashupatastra into Arjuna. So that is one type of embrace, which is a Diksha, an embrace through Diksha, or a Diksha through embrace. And he gets the Diksha of Pashupatastra through that embrace. So there embrace and then there is the embrace of the mother to the child. Now here, this is Seve Shri Mallikarjuna Mahalinga Shiva Lingitam, which is the Shiva Alinganam of Parvati or Devi is that of this love and a very gentle embrace. And this is how in this verse it is said that Devi is fighting with the wrestling with the asuras. She is wrestling with them as though one wrestles with a jasmine flower. Hmm? So that is the beauty of that. Sahita Mahahava Mallama Tallika Malli Tarallaka. And then that whole this thing, and Mallarate, and she does this Malla Yuddha, Mallarate. She is enjoying and doing this Malla Yuddha. She's having a lot of joy and fun, and she's having um, a joyful experience. And we discussed about this the last time. This joyful experience is not out of a sarcastic or a sadistic pleasure that I'm doing this. Anything that we do, we have to do it in this form. We spoke about this yesterday also on Deepavali Day. We said that joy and lightness, that feeling of being light, Laghima Siddhe, that has to be experienced through whatever activity do you, and we are, each one of us is experiencing a Mahahava. Mahahava is like a great war, because life itself feels like a burden. Either the burden of expectations of others upon us, excuse me, or the expectation of what I should do on myself, or trying this huge expectation of I don't know the meaning of my life, I need to find the meaning of my life. So that is, all of these are burdens. And everybody, all, even great masters have gone through these burdens. It is not wrong to have these burdens, but it's important to recognize that there is a pathway to rid ourselves of this burden, of this burdensome living, and live joyfully, mallarate. So even if you're fighting, fight joyfully. Not to cause harm to somebody, just because the situation demands you to fight. Fight. Fight means what? Fight means engage. Fighting is, usually it's considered as, fighting is opposite to being, so if fighting is being active, not fighting is being passive, withdrawing, right? But there are times you have to fight, right? You have to fight for your wife, for your family, for your daughter, your son, your children, for your parents, for your close ones, for your own self. There are times you have to fight, but fight joyfully. Don't make it a bitter experience out of life. Don't make any experience, and we've spoken upon this. Life, all it gives you is experience. Whether we convert it into wisdom or wound is our decision. Right? Experience can be converted into a wisdom. I say, oh, through this experience, I learned this, and this is how it is. And at the end of the day, it has enriched me. Or I can convert it into a wound, saying, I will never talk to this person. Oh, this person is like this or like that, or tell yourself that I am such a depressing character, and nothing can be done of me. One way or the other, we convert it into a wound. So let's not do that. And that is where the fragrance of jasmine. So this whole phrase or this verse is around that, the fragrance of the jasmine. Right? We should experience the tenderness of jasmine in our life and the fragrance of it. And when we do that, life feels like a breeze. How does the fragrance come? It comes through a breeze. It comes through whenever there is a wind, there is a breeze, the fragrance is carried, and then you experience it, right? And imagine when we experience the fragrance of jasmine that comes in the breeze, we naturally feel uplifted. I'm not talking about these spray of jasmine jasmine odor spray, room freshener. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the fragrance of the natural flower odor that comes when it comes through the breeze on a beautiful morning. It naturally uplifts you, right? It uplifts you means what? Makes you feel a little more spiritually connected, a little less gross, a little more subtle, makes you feel more subtle and less gross. So let us visualize and imagine that kind of jasmine that they're talking about. Then next is Virachita Vallika Pallika Mallika Jhillika Bhillika Vargavrite. So again here he's talking about um, he's the Devi is accompanied by girls, okay, accompanied by Virachita Vallika. So there are very, very tender jasmine-like girls who are accompanying Devi in this war, and they are surrounding Devi and making the sound Jhillika Bhillika Vargavrate. So these are also sounds, okay. Jhillika is usually the sound of cricket. Jhillika. Bhillika can be referred to as the sound of the bees. The other verse we saw, right? Rab Brahma Brahmarab Brahmarab Brahmara. There is a verse that goes that way. That is also Brahmarambika, the bee Devi. So likewise here, Jhillika Bhillika Varga Vrite. In formation, in a certain formation, they are Vrite. Varga Vrite means they surround Devi in a certain formation, and they are these tender jasmine like don't want to say girls, but these people who are surrounding are also tender in nature. And this is the representation of Brahmarambika. So if you assume in the center is Mallikarjuna, then you have Brahmarambika around him. And in the center, you have so visualize this thing like there is Mallikarjuna, Shiva, who is trying to embrace Devi, who is in the form of jasmine. And then the sound of Devi is surrounding them. The sound of Devi is what? Brahmarambika is essentially the form, but she exists as sound as the sound of the bees. Brahmari. We did this Brahmari exercise. Remember, when we did the verse, we did the exercise of Brahmari, where we held the nose and closed the ears. We close the spaces and then we make the sound of and then it reverberates in this part. Actually, there is a part somewhere the back, somewhere I read, it's called the bee's cave, the back of the head. And when that place reverberates with the sound, your consciousness slightly rises up from the body consciousness and moves up to this part of the body. So this sound, they are enveloped in that sound. Jhillika Bhillika Vargavrite. So Brahmarab, so you have Mallikarjuna Swami, who is Shivalingitam, who is Shri Seve Gauri, Shri Seve Giri Mallikarjuna. Is that right? Shri Seve Seve Shri Giri Mallikarjuna. Giri Mallikarjuna. Seve Shri. Shri is Devi there. Giri Mallikarjuna Mahalinga Shivalingitam. So she is embraced by the Shiva. The Shri is Devi. and they are together sitting on the hill, Giri Mallikarjuna Mahalinga. And how is that Mahalinga? That Shiva is embracing the Shri or the Devi, who is the jasmine. So embracing the Devi like one would embrace the jasmine, and Devi in the form of sound is Brahmarambika surrounding them. So this is a nice dhyana. There's a very nice dhyana. So if this one line, in fact, this one line is picked up by, I think, Nochur Swami would chant this line. So this line, in my view, is a dhyana shloka for Mallikarjuna Swami with Brahmarambika. So we can use this line as a dhyana also. If you want to do dhyana, Raghu, Sri Sailam dhyanam pannona, if you want to do dhyana of Sri Sailam, then this one line is enough.
Okay.
It's a very beautiful line. I've put it in the chat, right? Seve Shri Giri Mallikarjuna Mahalinga Shivalingitam. And then when you do that, visualize this verse of Mahishasura Mardini. So you've got
Sorry, Mahoday, I'm not able to see it on chat.
Maybe I sent it after,
Yeah.
before you joined.
Correct.
I'll put
Correct.
it again. I'll put it again. So this is so when you look at this verse, imagine the verse that you're seeing on the chat now, which is from the Shivananda Lahari, verse 50, last line. When you use that as a dhyana shloka of Mallikarjuna Swami, bring your reference to this particular verse 12 of Mahishasura Mardini. So it goes, it describes, there is a more graphic description of it in the Mahishasura Mardini shloka. Then Shitakrita Phulla Samullisitaruna Shitakrita Phulla Samullasitaruna Tallaja Pallava Sallalite. So now she is shown as somebody who's got this very beautiful, joyful face. She's smiling, beaming with smile. And how is that smile? It is as though Samullasita Aruna. So it is the Ullasa smile that comes from joy. And that joy is not coming from outside anywhere. That joy is coming from within. Just because she feels that the Shiva has done Alinganam to me, the Shiva has embraced me, this joy is coming from Devi's face. See, imagine, these are all pictorial images that we are imagining, right? But what is Devi's experience? That I am always protected, cared for, loved by Shiva, by my beloved. My beloved is always caring, protecting, cajoling, taking care of me through this alinganam, through this embrace. And with this, when this is there in your head, what will be your heart and mind? There will be ullasa, right? There will be joy. And that joy will be expressed as this Aruna. Aruna as in the rising sun. That rising sun as this beauty of joy and life and positivity and hope. Aruna tarangitakshim dhritapashankusha pushpabanachapahastam. So Aruna, that Aruna color is of Devi that is rising from the morning sun. So that when you see that and you feel this joy, and see, imagine again, this is something that we can also do each morning when we get up. Unfortunately, we probably not all of us get to see the rising sun. But whenever we see the sun in the morning, it's nice to look at it and maybe we chant this dhyana shloka and then imagine that Shiva is embracing me, right? There's this entity, there is this presence which is embracing me, which is taking care of me, because it's taken care of me through the night. I woke up to a beautiful morning. I woke up to a morning, right? Whether beautiful or not is for me to, it's what state I get up in. But we can kind of train ourselves to say that for whatever reason I woke up now in the morning, and I've woken up, which means somebody has taken care of me through the night. Did I take care of myself? Did my mother take care of me? She was also sleeping. Did my father take care? He was also sleeping. My wife, children, no, they were all sleeping. So someone who took care of me during the night, right? There are people, countries where there are earthquakes, people sleep, they don't see the morning, right? The ceiling falls on them and that's it. Nothing of that sort happened to me, no? So I woke up, something has taken care of me to bring me to this beautiful morning. So when I get beautiful morning, I feel protected. I feel this Shiva Lingatam, this Alingitam. So he says that causes the ullasa, samulla sitaruna tallaja pallava sallalite. And that blossoming is like the Nija Pallava. Pallava is a bud. And a new bud um, that is blossoming. Pallava is a bud. So it is a blossoming bud. So whenever there's this blossoming that happens, there is this joy and hope that comes with that. And what after that? Sallalite. Why do you get up? Why are you awake? So that you can go and play the sport of life. Lalite. Sallalite, which means joyfully go and spread the joy, enjoy the next day, the morning that we wake up. And this is not just in the morning, right? What we're saying is throughout the day, we try to bring this experience within us where we see this ullasa. We try to look back, we try to go in, we try to sit into that dhyana within ourselves. And we discussed about the beautiful Kshetra, Sri Sailam, right? Where there are so many places where there have been saints and sages who have spent time in dhyana, in complete isolation. So as much as it is important to be in transaction in the world, it is equally important to go in isolation. Each one of us must do this. We have to find our time for isolation, time to go into some form of some cave, not necessarily a physical cave. It can be some place outside of your regular engagement. We should withdraw ourselves. If you're trying to do all the prana, the yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, samadhi. The pratyahara, the fifth stage of Patanjali's Ashtanga Yoga, is about withdrawal. Withdrawal of what? Withdrawal of your senses, your karmendriyas and jnanendriyas. But when can they happen? When you practice withdrawal physically from your present space of constant engagement and interaction. On a daily basis, we should build that into our sadhana. But once in a while, it's important to also remove yourself from that space and go into some other space. Rejuvenate yourself with this energy from outside, universal energy. Withdraw that. Because what happens is when we are transacting in the world, we are always drawing energy from each other. Which is why a lot of fights and the raga, dvesha, all of that keeps happening. Constant conflict and friction that happens is because we are constantly sucking each other's energy. Withdraw yourself and go into some place once in a while, spend a week, and then gather, because in those spaces you will gather energy from nature, from satsanga, from completely different people. And then also you do dhyana, you will try to draw upon the universal energy. And then we come and transact again, right? So this happens on a regular basis. So this we do, then there is ullasa in the heart, there is joy in the mind. And then sal lalite, then the life we will play joyfully. It will not feel burden. Like we said in Deepavali yesterday, the lightness of experience of life has to set in. The burden of life should reduce. It will not reduce on the outside, it should reduce from within. Right? That burden should reduce from within. And then we will live life as Sal Lalite, which means we will, like Lalita Tripura Sundari, Lalita, which means joyfully, playfully, we'll be able to live life. Okay, so that is this verse. So see, look at this beautifully. It starts with Mahahava, Sahita Mahahava, and ends with Lalite. So you're actually getting in, you're talking about a great war, but how are you dealing with the whole thing? Lalita, in a very gentle and a tender and a playful way. So these are directly related to how we live our lives on a daily basis, right? We take this life as a great war, challenges, this, that, all of that is there. But then he says that it can also be played joyfully. You can also play this joyfully. Sahita Mahahava Malla Matallika Mallitarallaka Mallarate Virachita Vallika Pallika Mallika Jhillika Bhillika Vargavrute Shitakruta Pulla Samulla Sitaruna Tallaja Pallava Sallalite Jaya Jaya He Mahishasura Mardini Ramyakapardini Shailasute Om Kayena Macha Manasendriyerva Buddhyatmana va Prakrite Subhavat Karomi Yatyat Sakalam Parasmai Narayanaayeti Samarpayami Sadashivayeti Samarpayami Jagadambikaye iti Samarpayami Sadgurunathayeti Samarpayami Hari Om Tat Sadgurubhyo Namaha. Eve Shri Giri Mallikarjuna Mahalinga Shivalingatam. Hari Om.